Hi, this is Suszek coming at you all the way from the United States. Yay, United States! Uh, we're coming up on our Labor Day. Well, I'm actually just happy to hear so many people from outside the United States are watching my video. I've been meeting people from England, Iran, Canada, and and people, of course, within the United States. So please comment below what country or city that you are watching and viewing from, and please click like. If you're watching and you like these, just click like, because it promotes it, brings my videos to more viewers the more likes there are. So if you are liking these, please click like. All right, so what I want to talk about is there's this book, I'm Okay, You're Okay. It's a psychology thing, but that's the kind of thing that I need to talk about in relationship to healing. Okay, so I'm all about realizing that you're actually not sick and not paralyzed and don't have a disease. We're healed. So that means we're not sick. I've talked about this. And the more you believe that you're actually well and that these symptoms that you may be dealing with are not real, even if they stayed, like for instance, you think that you're getting worse, or if you're dealing with something progressive that gets worse, if you don't believe it's going to get worse, it doesn't. And the less you learn about that disease, the better. The ignorance is bliss, really. Ignorance is healing sometimes. If you don't focus and, okay, I think that was, maybe it's Curry Blake who doesn't ask I don't care what's wrong with you, we're speaking life. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Don't tell me what's wrong with you. That just tells me how far into unbelief you are. Okay, so the less you talk about it, the better. The less you think about it, even better. And the less you believe it is, the more healed you'll become, as far as the physical part of it. So when you think that you're sick trying to get well, you really think that you're sick and it's got to change, and then you'll be well. If you just continue to believe I'm actually not sick, no matter what I see, it really does start to, it's only a few minutes of symptoms sometimes. Oh yeah, no, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. This is just, I got to distract myself from this foolishness. And the sad part is that when you are believing that you're sick, you can get worse and die. It is a matter of life and death. I believe faith is power, but belief in belief in your wellness is the power of life. The more you believe that you're really sick, trying to get well, the harder it is to see this change. And like, you can say sometimes people don't understand, like, they have good days and bad days. Well, the good days are actually the more healing that you manifest, but the bad days are just that your soul or your brain are remembering this old thinking, and it manifests. So how how dare I talk about, you know, if you, you know, if they say you have cancer and you've seen it on the, you know, you've seen symptoms of it, it will change if you just, in denial, it's like in denial, but in faith that you really are well. I know, you know, if you haven't heard this before, then you should try it. It's working for us, and it's really just symptoms. So you just, you know, whatever, like if I want to know what something's wrong with somebody, what are you dealing with? What symptoms are you trying to resist? You know, paralysis or symptoms that are like MS or cancer. Well, they're just symptoms, and the more you resist them in belief, like not believing in it anymore, the better. So you're really, the good news is you're really not sick. You're really okay. I'm okay. You're okay. It's going to be great when the symptoms completely leave. That's what we're looking for. That's what the team's looking for. But not believing that there's actually a sickness attached to those symptoms is a big step. Okay, so you can have crazy symptoms and they're not always like under the category of the thing that you supposedly have, and the more you get outside of the actual classic, you know, whatever it is, the more you can realize these are just symptoms, random symptoms happening to me. I have so much less symptoms of what I could have happening. My body is looking pretty darn good for somebody that's been paralyzed for 34 years. It looks like I'm a walking person. I really look good. I can wear shorts. My muscles. I don't get infections, bladder infections. I stopped. You know, I do have things that I deal with, but not every day. The biggest thing is to start moving, and stop believing that this is a real problem. It's unpleasant when we have symptoms that cause us to be feeling yucky. But if you take away the fear that something's really wrong with you and that you're dying, or, you know, if you stop thinking that way, it will go away. And things physically change. Again, Tony Myers had a broken foot. After he was basically, this is the guy who was healed of ALS suddenly, all at once, 7 years ago or so. He had a broken foot one day, woke up with it. I don't know what happened. And it took him a couple days, and this is just like another friend of ours, Mark Boswick. He, you know, anyway, it does actually change. It's just a mind, you could call it a mind game. It's a change of thinking. It's a renewing of your mind, the reality that what does it mean to say I'm healed? It means you're not sick. I'm not sick. I'm not paralyzed. I don't have a disease. I just have a bunch of symptoms. That's what you got to start thinking. Really, really believing that, and things change. Just saying. It's true. I'm so healthy. The last time a doctor looked at me, it was like I was having crazy symptoms of blood pressure problems due to sodium being too low. Didn't realize, but anyway, if I could believe for everything immediately, that would leave too, So last time the doctor looked at me, he said, because they expected all this other stuff because I'm C6 quad. They were like looking at everything, and they were like, he goes, well, we've tested you for everything in your skin and all that stuff and your bladder, and he goes, you are the healthiest quadriplegic I've ever seen. I go, I know. I know. So it's my faith is working for me. Praise God. My faith is like a servant. And we're all not sick. That's how I like to say it, because to say you're healed is but taking on some other meaning. It's just like if it's not meaning anything to you anymore to say, I'm healed, then you're not, you need to convince yourself of the truth. You are not sick, and you just, when you believe the truth that when you're feeling good, this is me not sick. And then when you're feeling bad, that's the lie. And you just have to distract yourself from the bad feelings. You will become more and more convinced of the truth that you are free from every sickness and disease, that Jesus already did it. You're really not sick. It's just false symptoms appearing real. Amen? Okay. Happy Sunday.